Assalamualaikum. This video is for revising for the topic plant and animal nutrition using the past year questions. So let's have a look at the first question. Ali wanted to test the leaf for starch. So starch is one of the nutrition and you test starch using iodine solution. And iodine solution, the color is yellow or brownish. And if there's iodine, and if there's starch present, it means the color will change to blue, black. Please don't write down dark blue or black because they will specifically want you to say blue, black. Which of the following procedure is used to remove chlorophyll? So the question is actually asking about removal of chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll is what gives the plant its green color. So you want to remove the green color so that the plant will become white. When the plant become white, it's easier to see the changes from yellow to blue black. And the things that you need to do with the leaves are you need to boil them inside alcohol. Now, there's one easy way to remember this. So chlorophyll have two letter L at the end, and in alcohol there's two letter L as well. So anytime you talk about the removal of chlorophyll, you have to boil the leaf in alcohol. So the answer is C. If you answer A, cutting the leaf into pieces, it will just make the leaf smaller. Nothing else will happen. Boiling the leaf pieces into water, you'll make the leaf softer. That's about it. And D, adding iodine solution to the leaf pieces is just testing for the presence of starch. So nothing much there. Number two, the byproduct or the product of photosynthesis is, so you have to know what is the equation for photosynthesis. You need two things at first. You need carbon dioxide and you need water. Carbon dioxide from the air and water from the soil. And when these two combine together with and sunlight and chlorophyll, you will get two things. The two things are oxygen, which we need in our life, plus glucose, which is the sugar that give energy for the plant itself. So if you look at the choice here, only C mention oxygen. The rest does not mention oxygen or glucose. Therefore, the answer here is C. Question number 3. When water is heated in a beaker, some small bubble is kept before the water begins to boil because now every time we talk about small bubbles, when it's boiling, it means that there are gases in it. And these gases are actually found in air. Therefore, those are actually dissolved air. The answer is A. Water contain microorganism. Microorganism give out tiny bubble. Yes, if you boil them, the microorganism can die, and the amount of bubble they produce are very little. And the thing is that not all water will contain microorganism as well. Therefore, the most correct answer is A. Number 4, which process reduce carbon dioxide and increase oxygen in the atmosphere? Now, only one thing can do this, which is plants, specifically green plants. The reason why we need to mention green plants are the only one that photosynthesize. Therefore, the answer is C. Respiration is the opposite, where you absorb oxygen and you give out carbon dioxide. That's what is being done by nearly all living things. And transpiration and osmosis, you will learn in more detail in year 9. Number 5, during the day. Okay, this is a very important keyword, day, because during the day there's sunlight. So during the sunlight and in combination with green plants, it means there's a process called photosynthesis going on. And again, as you know, photosynthesis will always produce one important gas, which is oxygen. And if you look at the choice, only oxygen, C and D have oxygen. A and B does not. And the second thing about day is that usually it's hot. When it's hot, for us human, we sweat. But for plants, they produce water vapor. This happen by evaporation or another process called transpiration. So the answer is C. Carbon dioxide in the morning, plants not really produce because carbon dioxide is for respiration. These are produced a lot when the plants are resting at night. In the morning, their focus is to make food, which is photosynthesis. It's similar to us human. In the morning, we work to get foods. In the morning, plant photosynthesize to get food. At night, we rest. At night, plant also rest for using respiration. Number six, in the test for the presence of starch, green leaf should be put in a boiling tube containing alcohol. Again, alcohol, it means it's about chlorophyll. So the answer is B. Don't think. Okay, and every time you use alcohol, you need to put them inside hot water filled in beaker. So this is method is what we call as water bath. You cannot put the alcohol directly under fire because they are flammable, and if you do that, it will catch fire immediately. Okay, next question. Question number 7. The following question for photosynthesis is incomplete, so you should know this one by heart already. The first one that you need is carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide. So C and D is out because it's oxygen there. And the second one, you have sugar, therefore the other one should be oxygen, therefore the answer is B. Number 8. The setup shown in figure below was left under sunlight for 4 hours. You have leaf 1 with sodium hydroxide, you have leaf 2 with water, and you have leaf 3 with soda lime. The leaf level 1, 2, 3 were tested for starch. Which leaf contains starch? If you look there, there is a choice leaf 4, which is not even shown in the diagram. So C and D is out. Now, you're going to learn that what is the purpose of sodium hydroxide and soda lime as you go to year 9. But as of now, you just should know that um, it will mention which of these will actually absorb carbon dioxide. If carbon dioxide are absorbed, it means that there is no photosynthesis. Water will not do anything to it. Therefore, leaf two are correct. But for the answer for this question, I'm just going to skip for now. Question number 9. Which of the following is not required for photosynthesis? Not required. So if you look at the equation just now, the first two things you need is carbon dioxide, you need water, you need sunlight, you need chlorophyll. So, and by looking at the choice, you need carbon dioxide, you need light, you need water, and you need chlorophyll, but oxygen is not needed. So therefore, the answer is C, oxygen. However, oxygens are needed but for all life. So technically, without oxygen, the plants will not be alive, and therefore it cannot photosynthesize at all. So this question is not actually very accurate. However, out of A, B, C, D, the best choice will be C because oxygen is the product. Number 10, study the experiment setup as shown in figure below. The gas produced in above experiment is, so if you look here, again, there's sunlight, and then there is this plant. This plant is called Elodia. It's an aquatic plant. So aquatic plant means that these plants are living underwater, just like animals. Some of them live on land, while some others, like fish, crocodiles, and so on, live underwater. And this aquatic plant will also photosynthesize. They will also produce oxygen, which dissolve in the sea or in the ocean or in the water. So if you look here, since there's a sun and there's a plant, the gas that you expect to produce are oxygen because of photosynthesis. And the test for oxygen is that it rekindle or rekindle a glowing spleen. Greenish yellow in color is not correct. Anytime a gas have color, especially greenish yellow, it means they are poisonous. And in this case, the two gas that are green in color and can be considered as dangerous are chlorine and sulfur dioxide. If you inhale this gas, it can be lethal and it can kill you. It can suffocate and kill you. Turn blue litmus paper red, you will learn that in acid and alkali, which comes soon. And turn lime water milky, you should know this gas is carbon dioxide. Okay, next question. Question number 11. What function does foods such as eggs, fish, and lean meat help our body to carry out? So these three group of foods are considered as protein. And protein do build and prepare body tissue. So the answer is A. Do they help build strong bones and teeth? In some way, yes, but There are other things that help better in this one, which is calcium and vitamin D. To improve our sight, every time we talk about sight, we talk about vitamin A. Remember, adu, which means that you cannot see at night because you hit something. That's why adu. Therefore, vitamin A for that one. And D to protect to protect and strengthen our skin. When we talk about skin, we also talk about gums, and this one is most likely vitamin C. Vitamin C is also good for your immune system. Next question, question number 12. Energy giving food are usually, so when we talk about energy, we always talk about carbohydrate first. These are the quick source of energy. So every time you're tired, you should take carbohydrates such as rice, potatoes, or bread. And then the second one should be your fats, which act as a storage. And the last one is proteins that are inside your body. So when you're undergoing starvation, the first energy that is going to be used will be carbohydrates in your body. After that, all the fats inside your body will be used as energy. That's when you lose weight. And last but not least, your protein will be used, which means the muscle in your body will disappear. That's when you look like you have bones. Okay, vitamins and minerals are essential to make your body healthy, but it doesn't give you energy at all. So the answer is A. Next question. 13. Sample of food was tested in three ways. It did not change when added to Barrett reagent. Now, Barrett reagent is actually a chemical used to test for protein. Now, for protein, I need you to remember there's two important letters in protein, PR, the letter P and the letter R. So, for example, protein, then the letter P and R again, the enzyme are applied, protease. And then proteins are found inside your stomach, which in Malay is parut. So PPR. And then protein, when you test with bioregion, if it's positive, it will change to purple. So you can see that the letter P and R keeps on coming up for protein. So that's a very big hint. Number two, it left a permanent translucent stain when rubbed on filter paper. Filter paper is for fats, and if it produces translucent stain like that, it means fats are present. The first one, it says it did not change when added to Barrett reagent, therefore there is no protein. The third one, it produced an orange precipitate when tested with Benedict solution. So for Benedict solution, you have to memorize it's to test for sugar, reducing sugar or glucose. And a positive test will cause it to produce orange precipitate. And Benedict solution are blue in color. And if the blue color change to orange red, it means there is glucose. Therefore, two things are present here. One is fat, one is glucose. Fat, glucose. C. Fat, protein. No. Fat, sugar. Sugar is also glucose, so B is acceptable, but the most accurate one is C. Protein is not. Therefore, the two possible choice here is B and C. Next question, number 14. To test for the presence of glucose. So presence of glucose, you have to memorize Benedict solution. So B change from blue to red. This is the simplest one, or orange. Then test for presence of starch. You need to memorize it's using iodine, and it's from yellow or brown to blue, black. Please memorize this. And number 16, which of the following are not correctly matched? Carbohydrate is found in rice. Vitamin C's are found in orange juice. Fats and oil are found in cooking oil. Proteins are not found in potato. And starch are not found in eggs. And if you look at the choices here, which one are not correctly matched? It should be number 4 and number 5. And if you look in the list, it's not being mentioned number 4 and number 5. So just change in here. It's C, 4, and 5. Next one. Question number 17. Which of the following is not energy giving food? So as I mentioned, the first one that will give you energy is carbohydrates. The second one will be fats, which act as a storage. Number 3 will be the protein inside your muscles. So only water do not give you energy. Water, vitamins, and minerals basically. Right, number 18. Proteins are very important for our body. So again, it's mentioned. They help digest our food? Not really. The one that help digest our food are enzymes. And enzymes are protein, but not all proteins are enzymes. They help to make our bones and teeth stronger, as I mentioned before. Calcium and vitamin D. These two things. They help to remove our waste product. The one that help to remove your waste is fibers, and they help to repair our damaged tissue. That is the main function of proteins. So I'm going to a bit fast so that you don't waste your time. And anytime you think it's too fast, just pause or rewind to have an idea. Number 19, figure shows an experiment to study the action of amylase. So amylase is an enzyme, another name for the enzyme carbohydrates. So this enzyme will break down starch, and the starch will become glucose when they break it down. All right, at the beginning of the experiment, a few drops of liquid A is tested for sugar and starch. So if you look here, liquid A contains starch solution and amylase. And after 3 minutes, the liquid from A is tested again for sugar and starch. Which of the following is most likely the result of them? So if you look here at the beginning, there is starch inside it and there is amylase. And amylase, once you add it to starch, it will break it down and change them into glucose. So you should have starch at the beginning. You should also have glucose. And if you look at the choice, sugar and starch present, sugar and starch present. It's not possible for starch to be present only because you already have put the enzyme amylase inside it, which start the process of digestion. And after 20 minutes, it's most likely that all the starch has been converted to glucose. Therefore, at the end, only glucose will present, only sugar will be present. That's why the answer is D. Next question, number 20. A sample of food. A sample of food mixed with water was tested to find out its content. The observations are shown in table below. Iodine solution was added to the sample. Solution stays yellow, so which means that iodine you should know its test for starch. And if it remains yellow, it means there is no starch. Benedict, you should know it's for sugar, and it says orange, so it means that there should be glucose inside there. Then the sample was wrapped on filter paper. It leaves oily marks. Oily mark sample mean it's translucent, and therefore, if you use that paper, it means there's fat. So two things presents glucose and fats. Fat and glucose, fat and starch. No, glucose and protein. No, starch only. No. Therefore, the answer is A. Again, if you realize the question are repeated many times because they like to ask questions about food tests. So it's important for you to understand and remember the food test for each. Okay, next one. A student carried out a tree experiment to find out the nutrients content in particular food. Observation made as follows. Using Benedict solution. So Benedict again, you test for sugar or glucose, and it says remain clear blue. Therefore, there should be no glucose. Iodine, it shouldn't be dark blue. It should be blue black. So starch, there should be there, and change this one to blue black. Never write down dark blue because dark blue can be many different shades of color as well. And then Barrett solution, which is protein, it changed to purple. So protein is present as well. So sugar absent, absent. Starch present. So as you know, the answer should be A because only that one mentioned correctly. And number 22, Zahid has been suffering from a serious disease called rickets, where his bones become deformed as he grows. Which vitamin Zahid should take in order for him to improve his health? Now, rickets, bones, every time we talk about bones, automatically the answer will be vitamin D. Just remember D as I teach you how to memorize. D stands for dragon. Dragon has strong bones and teeth. Okay? All right. Now let's go to elementary canal next. Number one, which of the secretion below contain enzyme amylase? Now, amylase are used to digest starch or carbo starch. Another name for amylase is carbohydrates. And there's two places where your starch will be digested. Number one is your mouth, and your mouth contain saliva. Second one is your small intestine, and in your small intestine, the one that gives you the enzyme amylase is actually pancreatic juice. Therefore, the answer is 3 and 4 only. Gastric juice will only be for protein, it's inside the stomach. Bile is for fats, it's not related to starch at all. Next question, number 2. The enzyme responsible for digestion of starch is, so again, starch amylase. In your textbook, they keep on mentioning carbohydrates, but please take note another name for carbohydrates is amylase. So carbohydrates. Number 3, the figure shows the human digestive system. Organ Y produce substance that help in digestion of food. The substance produced is, so number Y, organ Y is actually called gallbladder, and gallbladder produces bile. So what happens is that bile will break down fats. So fats are large, and in order for them to be digested faster, they need to be broken down into smaller pieces by bile. It's not digestion, it's just breaking down of fats. So from big fats to small fats. And then enzyme lipase will digest the fats to smaller, simpler molecules. Next one, digestion in man starts from it's where the food goes, which is your mouth. So don't overthink. An experiment was set up as shown in the figure below. After an hour, the water in the beaker was boiled with a few drops of Benedict. As a result, so it's actually test for Benedict solution. As a result, a red precipitate is formed. So Benedict red, it means indicate there is sugar present, there's glucose. So if you look at the diagram, there's a beaker, there's mixture of protein, starch, and glucose in the water, and there's whisking tube. So whisking tube is like a small intestine, which means that only small particles can pass through. So this one is for you to think critically. They want you to imagine in the small intestine what are the things that can pass through. And if you look there, glucose or sugar are the smallest one. That's why it can pass through. Fats had diffused, no, not possible. Fat will not be able to go out. Proteins has decomposed into amino acids. As you can see, that protein is not being tested there. Only glucose is being tested, so you cannot confirm this one. Glucose has diffused out the whisking tube, which means that there is sugar there, and starch has decomposed into sugar. This one, there's nothing there in the question or in the facts that explain that one. Okay.